And say hi to Twitch, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
How y'all doing tonight?
I don't have a picture.
Wait, what?
You don't deserve one.
I'm not showing up on the stream.
Hang on, let me... I swear I fixed that. Copy link. Paste. And now I lost... Oh, she turned it off. Ha 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 ha. Scared me. Right as Richter comes on, freaking Fox drops. Well, I don't think she dropped. I just think she turned it off for a second, but...
Nothing. I just want to get...
My notes! Where'd that stupid pencil go? Oh, found a pen. That'll work. Although I hate taking notes in pen.
Why is that?
Taking notes in pen?
Yeah.
Because I can't correct spelling issues and things later if I find out a different spelling.
Right the first time.
And then we're stuck with names like Sigmar holding my hammer. Because I didn't hear it right, and I'm just trying to fill in the middle ground.
Yeah, I'll show you this neat trick with a pen. What you do is you cross it out and you write it again.
Nope. I see.
It was us, right?
Oh, hey, there's my pencil. Sweet. Not a problem. We're good. Note-taking man extraordinaire is back in business. But the thing with that is, I write so chaotically that I have to go back and reorganize my notes afterwards. And it's just a habit of work from when they call out different things that are happening, and I need to take down the information that I'm not expecting to be happening right away. I just write it on whatever the closest surface to where my hand touches the paper is, and then I go back later and reorganize it all for myself. Because things get hectic. But it works for me. I can't open this stupid jar of pickles.
You need me to help you out, buddy?
Yeah, I do. I have arthritis.
With this face. Just pass it around.
Alright, Hunter needs us to do the sponsors.
I nominate Frank or Dan
Sure.
Skilled.
Sure, I can do one of them, but every time I try and type in the text chat, the text bans me. So someone else is going to have to type
You
in.
just need to do the exclamation point. One's monument, and the other one is exclamation point last bastion. And I should have assigned the rules to where it'll work for you now.
Hey, there it is. So our first sponsor is Monument Studios. They make a lot of sound effects and in-game music, and it's all royalty-free, and it's awesome. It is so cool to have this stuff in our games, and it's especially cool that they want to sponsor us. Just a bunch of guys and girls getting together having fun with this game. There's a lot of scores ranging from action, horror, sci-fi, and even more sound effects. And right now you can get 100% off your first month using the code WISH, W-I-S-H, all caps, for their streaming platform Fantasy Plus. And again, thanks for monumentstudios.net. And then the next one, what was the next one? Bastion?
Bastion.
Yeah. No, that's not right. Last Bastion. Okay. Sorry, just trying to remember the codes. There it is. Last Bastion Studios is a sponsor of our stream as well. They make comics, and they also make Ultraman figures. So keep an eye out for special offers, digital comics, discounts, and again, thank you so much for sponsoring us. It is a great honor, and they are at lastbastionstudio.com. And then our socials are what's the code again? Linktree something. Oh, that's not it. Let me dig it up.
Ha! It would help if I unmuted myself. Exclamation point socials. It's in the chat. Basically, you can find us anywhere. Wurst Experts Roleplay.
Yeah, it has all of our various different links: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we've got a series going on currently showing us the main campaign characters. And we're going through them one by one, kind of giving a very brief overview of who everyone is, and hopefully we'll have them all done soon, and we'll get. And it'll have, and if you look at not Twitter, Instagram, I know at least, it has our calendar for when we're doing which games. Like we're doing, I think we're doing this campaign for a month more. I'd have to check the calendar to be specific, but I think that's the general plan. But
Yeah, until the end of April.
cool, very cool. So that's what we got for our socials. And booty smells like tacos.
That's probably because I had a steak and egg breakfast burrito for breakfast this morning. And by steak, it was carne asada.
Should
I
we
heard
do
an
a
epic
little-
voice.
Is it working or not?
Yeah,
The epic voices.
Okay.
it's a bit quiet.
Because I'm quiet myself.
Is there anything else we need to cover, or we good to get going?
I think we're good.
Last Bastion Studios will be out in London. I had the date. Got it. Give me a sec. There's a convention going on out there somewhere in London.
Which London is the question?
London, England.
Okay.
England, across the pond.
Over yonder, so to say.
Somewhere where Naxi lives.
Man, now I want tacos.
He'll be, Last Bastion Studios will be in London, England next month. Or actually this month. Because he sent that message last month to me. I will find out later. But there's whatever convention is, I know I'm bad. Whatever convention is happening in London, England this month, they'll be there.
I think that's it for announcements.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Last we left off, our heroes enter the Temple of Sigmar, holding my hammer to defend the relics contained inside from the forces of chaos attacking the city of Middenheim. Inside the temple, the party. What are you laughing at?
Booty space.
Sorry. It's not his actual name, but I snuck it in there.
I'm aware, and I read it just fine. Goof. Inside the temple, the party would find the forces of Khorne slaughtered the priests, and citizens within the brutal fashion. After clearing the foot soldiers and the main areas of the temple, Ezekiel would make a pretty penny looting the bodies of fallen Empire citizens, without many in the party noticing. Bertrand was able to discover a secret entrance to the lower levels of the temple that had been previously undisturbed for a long time. Making their way through the dusty passageways, the party would find themselves fighting two large knights in black armor. Although these stark knights were tougher than other foes, and one landed a huge critical hit on Bertrand, the party was able to quickly kill them and investigate the nearby rooms. In the next room, the party would find a hidden doorway in a wall. Behind the wall lay an altar of an ancient sword relic protected by magic, put in place long ago. Between the party and the relic stood a hulking figure in black armor with strange runes that blazed like fire. Ezekiel gave up on his disguise as a rogue and fired off two eldritch blasts that blazed right towards the figure, only to see the attacks dissipate right before as they found their target. The figure was able to smash through the magical barrier and retrieve the sword relic before turning to face the party. Bertrand landed a series of massive attacks that would have crippled or killed any other enemy, but this one stood strong and tossed him aside like a bag of garbage before disappearing with some sort of teleportation. Leaving the party thoroughly exhausted, dejected, and with many questions as to whom or what they have just seen. And that brings us tonight.
Yay! Woo!
Woo! You didn't struggle over
Ow.
any words like last week.
Bite me.
Fox, you need to go back and watch the start of the last episode just for that.
Yes,
It was
sir.
great.
Yeah, it was glorious. I think we got him up to what, 17?
There were 17
17
total
17
drinks.
total.
Yeah, I think 13 of them came from the recap.
You put in tongue twisters, didn't you?
Some fucking bard that we hired decided to use every big word he could find and even some new ones he learned with a thesaurus.
Wish Ezekiel would just die.
It was the best April Fool's Day joke I've ever played.
It was
Well,
pretty awesome.
Second best. One time I hit a bunch of battery-operated, tiny little 99-cent alarm clocks all throughout my friend's house, set to go off every 30 minutes, so every time he fell asleep, another one went off, and when he left his room, there were more in other rooms.
Buddy, I would kill you for that. I have killed men for this.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Actually, speaking of April Fool's, for the first time in a long time, I actually got caught in an April Fool's prank. Was you guys watch the YouTuber Habitual Line Crosser? Does the voiceovers of like airplanes and all that shit. His thing was that he got a cease and desist from Lockheed Martin to stop doing the F-22. I'm like, oh, that's so disappointing because that's my favorite character. And then on the second, he's like, yeah, no, they love it. They think it's great. Like, you son of a bitch.
I was actually disappointed for a second.
Okay, so you
Okay.
guys are.
Yeah, so I'm standing next to where Mr. Big Bad Man disappeared. Bertrand got thrown out the doorway and everybody else was off in the other room hiding. I'm pretty sure the setup at the
I think
moment.
they were in the process of running.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to drop this fire because it is now useless.
Hey, Mav.
Mavido.
I am going to, as Bertrand comes up, clean him up a little bit, press the digitation. I'm going to say, what the fuck was that?
An enemy from the past.
Is he still there? Are we running?
He is gone.
Did you kill him?
Nope.
Well, before we go and tell the city how we failed to protect the relic that they were paying us to protect, I'd like to have a conversation.
They weren't paying us to protect a relic. They weren't doing that. They said protect the temple. They never said anything about this.
They
They
did say
never
the
said-
temple contained many important relics.
I disagree.
And
They said pay to protect the temple, and we got here and it was already ransacked.
Any idea what he stole exactly?
I'm not going over there. He could be hiding.
It was like a sword. Caligar's there.
Just the one thing, right? Can't be that bad.
Yeah, I'd like to be investigating the altar and the room, trying to figure out if there's any, like, if it's just a blank altar or if it actually has any description of the sword that was here.
Roll an investigation.
Nice.
21?
So you're checking up the altar. One thing is you recognize that there are runes of protection that were carved into the stonework, but those have burned out. Beyond that, there's nothing. There's no more information about what was there.
Okay. Well, as everyone else comes into the room and they see the burn mark on the rug where the guy used to be, I'm just gonna turn around and just be like, he took some sort of sword from here and teleported out, yelling about his ascension. That's all we know, because there's no more information in these runes. They're just destroyed from he broke them forcibly and then took it and ran.
Did you get a name?
No.
Did you get what he like specific sigils or anything on his clothing?
He wore
He
some
was sorry.
really black armor that seemed to make the light go away around him, but it burned with some fiery runes.
He was a chaos lord of some sort. I don't know specifically who.
Right. Can I inspect the area where he teleported from? I can get any sort of.
Sure. It was right where I was standing. So I'm going to step back out the way and let her do her thing.
Thank you. I just want to check if there's anything left burnt behind that maybe we could trace, perhaps.
So you're breaking up a little bit there. You're looking for any traces?
Any
Or...
magical traces that we can track, perhaps evidence.
Roll an Arcana. Because Calgar's investigation was fairly thorough. There's no physical traces, and you don't sense any magic beyond that a teleport spell was obviously used. He bamfed out. He's gone. Yeah, just like that.
So I'll without coming back into the room, I'll lean in and say, "So do you think they set us up?
Who?
The guard guys. What were their names?
No, there's no way they could have set this up.
No, did they set us up, not set this up?
Yes,
don't-
but that's what I mean. I don't think there's any way they could
I
have
don't-
or would have done so.
I don't
They
think they knew they were already at the temple.
Well,
Yeah.
they sent a low level. Oh, not low level. Relatively inexperienced party group across the city to protect something that's apparently very important, and they didn't even tell us it was here and that we needed to do that specific thing.
At the
Did they
start,
set us up?
I would assume this was a secret that they were guarding. That's why they said the temple. They did not want random people to know about this in the first place. The more people know a secret, the easier it is that secret gets out.
I think maybe they just didn't know exactly what they were up against. It's not our fault. They didn't give us a warning on just how tough this guy was going to be. I don't think they knew.
DM,
Yes.
may I make 2 checks, both history? One on the person, because I was up close and personal, thinking if I might have read something in the recordings. And 2 of the sword.
Sure. Do the person one first.
Okay.
No, you've not heard anyone that matches that description.
Okay. And the sword?
Fire away.
Of course.
You only caught a glimpse of the sword. You know that there's definitely something. You were able to more feel the power off of it, so you know there's something inherent about it, but you're not able to identify it.
The sword is from the ancient times. I can't seem to remember of where. But it is a sword that we have not seen in many ages.
I think
Okay.
we're being set up.
We are not being set up, you're just being too paranoid.
Well, if you think about it, there's several ways this could have played out. We walk in here, we get slaughtered, and we're the assholes for not doing a good job.
The city was already under siege. We were tasked to secure the temple that had many relics. And we
But
just
they-
happened to have run into the Chaos Warriors.
But then, if it's so important, they sent us, a bunch of jerks, in to try and protect this very important thing that the Chaos Lord wanted.
You have to keep in mind that the whole city is under siege. We were dispatched as one lonely group that was available to secure the temple.
I will add one thing in. When you first met with the marshals, and they heard the horns going off, it was very apparent that they were shocked that someone had breached the walls.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
we're being set up.
The
Either
I think they're just unprepared for this.
the siege had just started. I think they were still trying to muster their forces to repel an enemy, and we were sent on a side mission that they didn't deem was relevant at the time, because he really didn't even really accept my gracious offer. You know, he really undercut my bid. I think it was I think it was a let's get these nincompoops out of the way kind of thing.
Do you
No.
think maybe
Either
that
way-
attack was a distraction and that this was the main thing they were after? Or that's
I
so
think
powerful?
I think that's the obvious plan of what the enemy wanted. The large attack that out there on the walls, wasn't designed to actually breach it. I don't think. And then obviously the Chaos Lord came in with maybe a few elites and found his way into the temple while everyone else was focused on the walls outside. I think
We'll
that's
report
the
our findings.
general plan, but I don't think we're going to find any more answers down here. I think we need to go back up top and see how else we can help and inform the marshals, somebody, about what happened here.
I think we need to be very careful. I think we are being played by the marshals here. Or someone or something. Something this important, we should not have been on that mission to protect.
Where
Not-
are
we
you
need-
from once again?
I'm from the city north of here. What the hell's the name of it? One sec. I got a name of it. Let me bring it up. Sorry, I don't know Warhammer that well.
I would like to load a ballista and fire it at Ezekiel.
I'm kidding.
They're all broken and rusted.
I'm kidding.
It breaks even more.
1 second. It's in my notes. Marienburg. I'm from Marienburg.
Just more west. If you should be able to see the map there.
Yeah, I've got the map somewhere, but I had to write it down.
Before we go and speak to whoever we need to speak to about this, I'd like to ask everyone for a favor. Growing up in the Empire, there are obviously certain gods that you're allowed to worship, and anything outside of that would be almost treasonous. Obviously, y'all saw me do some... Well, I guess Ezekiel wouldn't say y'all. You, my fine friends here all saw me do some things that maybe Empire citizen shouldn't be able to do, and I'd just appreciate if you all kept that on the down low for the time being, seeing as we've been traveling together for a time now, and I've done nothing to lead you to believe that I would not be a good friend to you all. I would just ask that courtesy that you keep my secret for me.
You sound genuinely terrified. I love it.
Don't worry, Manling. I won't tell your secrets.
I'm gonna look right at the owl, and I'd like to make an insight check as to whether I believe he's gonna keep my secret or not.
That's probably a good idea.
Roll an insight.
Working on it.
Well, how do you guys want to play that out? So you're staring at the owl.
Yeah,
What's the owl
just
doing?
making deadpan face eye contact. Bertrand?
Give me a sec. I'm thinking.
That's a very long think while you're in the middle of a conversation.
Hmm.
The longer he thinks, the more I'm going to look like I'm preparing to make a motion.
Who? Your secret is safe with me. Who? Who?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of lower my hands and proceed on with the party wherever we need to go.
You do believe him.
Okay.
All right, well, I think we should stay here, stay in the temple. I mean, yeah, that's what we were tasked to do, and honestly, it's defendable for now. What do you guys think? I don't think we should leave the temple until someone comes and gets us.
You're probably right.
I'd like to look around for any one of those great axes or something, and then pick it up so I can bar the door if possible.
Before he bars the door, I'd like to poke my head, like just crack the front door open and just... Oh, wait, somebody's already out there. I can't move myself. What's going on?
Yeah, I had that weird thing right at the top of the room.
I'm like stacked under Tobias and I can't grab my token.
Try using WASD.
Oh, true. But yeah, I'd just like to peek out the door and kind of... Does it still seem like there's fighting going on inside the city? After Mr. Badman got his thing and bamfed the fuck out of there?
So when you get the door open, you notice to the east that the sun is starting to come up. And roll a perception.
I'm rolling perception. I'm not good at anything.
You can ask. Some of us can help.
Being a good friend, I'm being helpful.
So you open the door, you see the sun starting to rise in the east, and you hear nothing.
Guys, I think whatever may have happened may be over. I think you were right on that.
I rolled a 22. I don't know if it showed up on your end.
No, you're still
Yeah.
rolling private.
Came up as private.
I said roll to self, as I noticed. It was a 22.
Yeah, I've got something set that all private messages get sent to me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so if you try to like whisper around behind my back, not gonna happen, fuckers.
Quick
Unless
to
we
the
have a
group.
Discord.
Yeah, to the group Discord message.
When you say it's quiet, is it like unnaturally quiet, or is just regular quiet?
Well, when the attack happened, there was a constant background noise of cannon fire and musketry going off, and now there's not even that. It's the best way to describe it is like it's deathly quiet.
It's that eerie quiet when something's gone terribly wrong.
No way to go but out.
No, we should stay here.
Control the area at least. Just make sure nobody else is coming up this way. The courtyard's clear.
Well, as you step out, you take a quick look around, and
Shot by a
down.
cannon.
No. Down one of the major streets leading up to the temple, you see a group of armored knights that are riding towards you. At the head are the marshals that you had met earlier, but they're also surrounded by what could be described as a group of men that are quite burly. They're all draped in furs. the horses are pretty much covered in their own version of plate mail. And the men on that are riding the horses have like an almost wild look to them. I have a picture.
Oh, look at those horses.
Finally, an Ungi with a decent beard.
It's a photo with a hammer.
As a citizen and former nobleman of the Empire, do I recognize these individuals?
You'd recognize them as Knights of the White Wolf. They are Templar knights that are dedicated to the Order of Ulrich, who's the patron god of Middenheim. And they ride up to you, and even the marshals seem to be kind of protective of someone in the center who pretty much pushes his way through, rides right up to the steps,
Do I
and
recognize this figure?
No. How much time have you spent in the city? No.
Does he look royalty?
No. He looks priestly.
Oh, okay.
Tobias knocks an arrow, hearing people coming up. Kind of hides behind the pews.
Stand down, Ranger.
It's a local militia, I think.
It is not local militia.
Aye, these are the knights. A tad late.
So the man that's dismounts moves towards you. If you have experience in the Empire, which you all pretty much do, it's very apparent that he is what's called the warrior priest of Sigmar. The priesthood for Sigmar, the ones that don't tend to the temple, they believe that praise to Sigmar is best handled on the battlefield, and they're often in the thickest of the fighting. And you can see this man's armor is dented and covered in blood. The hammer that he's carrying, as if it's a feather, is just dripping red. And he walks up to the group, looks at the four of you on the steps, and then leans to the side so you can get a clear view into the temple, and is very obviously looking at Tobias. Just stares at you guys and says, "So, you were the ones that were sent to protect my temple."
What's the appropriate greeting for a warrior priest of Sigmar? Like, what would be the appropriate term to call him if you were from the Empire?
What's up, bro?
Would it be like Your Holiness or something like that?
I don't know. I was just gonna chime in with a Trum Ungi Ungi. We were too late to stop the raiding of the temple. By the time we got here, it was already done. We found the lower access way, the secret passage in the altar, and found some Kazaki Doom that were in the middle of their reading. We eventually fought our way through them to the final chamber with a Kazaki Doom of great power. He had,
And the sword?
yes, when we walked into the room, he had already broken through your runic seals and stolen the sword that was underneath. And then he teleported away. We tried to stop him, but we were as water on a bridge.
I made a good dent.
You tried.
So you were tasked with protecting the temple, protecting what was within. You failed, and you still draw breath.
You set us up. The marshals set us up.
No, we were tasked to defend the temple as best as we can.
He holds up a hand to kind of like just calm Bertrand a bit, points to Tobias, and just waves him forward.
I step up, but my I still got an arrow knocked. We were set up. We were just a small adventuring party from the wilds sent here to protect this obviously important thing, and the place was already raided by the time we got here. Someone set us up, I think. But the rest of the group doesn't think so.
What's your name, Elf?
Tobias. Tobias Atzweiger.
Your last name sounds as if you're from the Empire.
I am from the Empire.
And tell me how you came into the city.
We ran into a little bit of refugees from the west. So we went out to see what they were running from. And we saw raiding and pillaging along the coastline. We came back in, shepherded in a group of 100 or so refugees came in. I won't say volunteered to help the fight, but we were hired and we were sent right here.
So you were part of the refugees that came through the gates.
Yes.
So you saw the walls. You saw
Yeah.
the cannons. You saw the size of the gates.
Yes.
Those walls haven't been breached for 1,000 years. So when we sent you to protect this temple, you were sent as an insurance policy.
And yet they were already here.
And your assumption is that we set you up for failure?
Someone did. It was obviously very important. That's my assumption. Everyone else doesn't think as I do.
Because
And
you're not a very bright elf.
And I'd like to make just an insight on the marshals, not on the big guy, to see if they're like getting nervous or something. Yes.
The marshals look insulted.
They should be insulted, but are they nervous that I'm saying this?
No, but the more you keep going on about being set up, that look of insult is going to look as of anger.
I still think our setup.
If these men have got nothing handled, I'm going to step in front and say, you hired us to do a job. We tried our best. We did put our life on the line, but he seemed more interested in getting the sword and getting out. I believe this is more a failure of intelligence, perhaps. We did not know the exact extent we were facing here, and we were not nearly enough against his might.
As the cardinal steps in front of me, I'll put the arrow back in my quiver.
He had 2 Chaos Warrior champions with him.
Describe the individual that took the sword.
I go in complete detail because I was right up in his face. He even picked me up and tossed me.
Bad breath and the grip of a god.
I mean, both my hits landed him. So... And he picks me up and says, I will remember you, but all the others, he doesn't care.
He's
So
embellishing.
as you're giving the description and retelling like how you fought him and you actually injured him pretty severely, you can see the marshals and the high priest. They're both actually are a bit impressed when you get to the part of like you hurt him. But there is a bit of recognition in their eyes as well. And
Because I'm from Bretonia.
I couldn't say that without laughing. Sorry, go on.
And the priest looks back over his shoulder at the marshals, and they kind of like give a brief nod to each other. Turns out it's like, okay. So how I'm looking at this is the 5 of you are lucky to be alive. You did what you were tasked to do. You protected the temple as much as you could. You utterly failed, but I don't believe that's a failing on your part.
Thank you.
So just kind of like waves a hand, and the marshal you were speaking with before, which I believe was Maximilian, pulls a pouch off his belt and just tosses it at the ground on your feet. So this is compensation for your efforts. And you open the bag, and there's 100 gold inside.
Thank you, Marshal.
100 gold for everyone or total?
Total.
Yeah, no, 100 total.
Who grabbed the bag?
I do.
Did you tell everyone how much is in it?
I look at it. I take out my portion of what was said, and I give it back to the marshal because I agreed that I did not need any money for this task.
So you pull out the amount that
I made it very clear to him that at the very beginning I'm like, I was.
You don't want compensation.
Exactly. It was.
So you're giving him back your portion of it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that would leave 80 gold. It's because it'd be 100 divided by 5.
Yeah, so there's 80 left. Everybody gets 20.
And I tossed the bag to Cardinal.
What were we promised? Can I just double check?
We were promised 40 a person,
Okay.
but
And no one mentioned that to Bertrand beforehand. So if he's pulling out the amount that he believes is
Yeah!
his portion, he just pulled out 40 and handed it back. Right?
I didn't count it. I just took out 40.
We got 60 gold divided 4 ways.
What? That's not enough. You said 40 gold a person.
40 gold if you protected.
We did. We got here. We killed them. That's what
did
we
not
were ordered to
protect
do.
Shit.
Because they set us
He
up.
gestures at the blood that's still running out of the temple. It's like, all of my people are dead. All of the citizens that were inside are dead. The relics that needed to not fall into the hands of the enemy fell into the hands of the enemy. You are being
Got it.
compensated for the job that you did, which was a failure.
Got it, but we will take the full amount. No offense, Bertrand.
I already handed my money back, so. you
I'll
can say-
I'll have my hand out for it. We'll take the full amount.
He hands you back the 40.
Good, thank you. Pleasure doing business. Let's get the fuck out of here.
You're not a very kind priest.
Never said I was a priest.
Just because her name is Cardinal does not mean she is one.
I don't know that.
That's what. I'm
You
just
never
gonna walk
asked.
away. I'm just going to walk away from the bird.
Now, the priest does ask another question for you guys.
Well, then he's gonna have to stop me as I am currently. Like, I get 5 feet and then I stop.
Well, you start to move as if you're leaving, and the knights fan out to kind of keep you penned in. You're not going anywhere until they say you can leave. You failed in this task. If you can help us figure out how the gates were breached, we will give you 1,000 gold each.
So
What's the
Aziz,
catch?
I have a theory.
The catch is you have to find how the gates were breached.
Teleportation.
When the attack began, you may recall that you heard repeating horn blasts coming from the northeast. Those were cut off. Those horn blasts were a signifier that the gate was breached. We are on our way to go investigate and search for any information we can find at the northeast gate. And if you want that money, you guys are going to come with us.
So
We could
Ezekiel's kind of remained quiet through all of this just because of his history, which he wouldn't have really shared a lot of with the group because it's kind of a down moment.
Yeah.
But I'm going to speak up and just, Your Holiness, would be very grateful for the opportunity to redeem ourselves and for our failure. And I've lived a life full of failure, as you may well know. And I'm just going to shoot a glance to the rest of the group this isn't an option. We're going with.
Tobias looks pissed, but he nods.
I'm just gonna pat Tobias on the shoulder, nod.
Okay. So they lead you through the streets.
Would this considered a long rest? Not a long rest. Short rest.
It's a walking long rest, guys. We're good.
Not as of yet. Ba, ba, ba. Just doing some time shenanigans. Takes you about a half hour to get to the gate, past the rubble and the bodies and all the lovely things that are just kind of blocking your way. And I need to find pictures.
Elgar, what are you saying?
Oh, sorry. Well, that was actually Ezekiel talking to me in Dwarvish, so I was responding back in Dwarvish.
Right, you're having secret conversation, guys.
I mean, you could watch the stream and read it if you can.
That's cheating.
Cheating.
That would be metagaming, which is highly frowned upon in the tabletop community.
So you get to the gates, and immediately looking around, you see a mass of bodies strewn all over the place, both wearing the livery of the city as well as various marauders and bandits and other creatures that can only be described as unholy. And as before, the gates are still massive stone, intricate carvings on the outside, and open.
They aren't busted down, they're just open.
Roll a
I
perception.
recognize what movie that's from.
You should all recognize what movie that's from. If not, turn in your geek card.
I don't
don't-
recognize it.
Return of the King.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, from one of the upper gates?
No, that's the main gate.
That's
Yeah.
the main gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the main gate as they're about to seal it.
Do you have any idea how hard it
Gondor.
is to find massive fantasy fortification gates? That's the only picture I could find.
I only know them from Lotro, so. Or that's what's in my head when I think of that, so.
So you're checking out the gates, and it looks like there's no damage to them at all.
in
I
this
would have to
moment,
say, technically, Tobias might be right on this. The whole town was set up.
so in
It
this
was an inside job.
What were you
moment,
trying to say?
Ezekiel's gonna kind of take on a persona you guys haven't seen a lot. Like, he's usually kind of charismatic, and he might like talk for business negotiations, but most of the time he kind of takes a back seat, like he doesn't want to be seen. But as we approach the gates, he's going, and we're kind of looking around. He's just kind of, not that he thinks he's a leader, but in this moment, he's going to try to be one, and he's going to ask, Bertrand, would you mind flying above and seeing if anything from an upper perspective might stand out to you? Cardinal, can you check the bodies and see if there's anything that stands out about the bodies? Tobias, if you could keep an eye out for anything just unusual, and Caligar, can you investigate the gates for anything arcane?
Good.
Sure thing, Winky. While I'm at it, I'm gonna go check out the gatehouse as well.
Away I go! Whoosh.
All right, I'll do the following that lead. Do the end. Oh, percent. Okay. I was gonna say, do the enemy troops killed here look like the rabble rousers we found on the way to the palace, or are they different and separate?
My dice didn't roll; it just landed.
So the enemy troops do look like the ones you've come across before, as well as there are some that are obviously twisted by dark powers. Bertrand, you can't discern anything that stands out. You see, you get a scale for how much death came from the gates being open, and as you get further away from the gates and it started to spread out, the bodies aren't as closely packed. All right, then Cardinal was looking at the bodies.
That's
Yep.
what I asked. I don't know if that's what she did.
I'm looking at the bodies. What killed them? Who were they? Mostly. Kind of injuries.
For yours, I actually want an investigation.
Would medicine serve better, do you think?
No.
Investigation. I'll get at it. Come on, dice.
I've been rolling very poorly out of combat as well.
I even literally just changed them. Shit.
Change them again, it didn't work.
So, how'd you do two? Because one's going to be like you're looking at the disposition of the bodies, how they're laid out. That's going to be the perception. And then your investigation is like getting down to see if you can recognize anything significant on them. On the bodies, it looks like they were killed with various weapons, spears, swords, claws in some cases. In one case, you do find I have to pull it up here. That looks like it was carved with a knife into one of the bodies. That looks like a civilian. They got caught up in everything.
What is it?
Hmm.
And as you're looking at the disposition of the bodies, you notice that there are some of the soldiers that are armored and wearing the garb of the city guard are facing the gate. Others are facing the alleys.
Oh, fascinating. Do I recognize this symbol?
Roll of history.
Maybe. There we go.
Yes, you do. And we're gonna go drop down and have a little chat.
What? Hell yeah.
Whispers, whispers.
I still think we're being set up.
Very
No one else
suspicious.
agrees?
I don't think so, no. I think this was a well-planned chaos assault that did its job.
I think this gate was the distraction for the big bad to assault the temple. I think in true fashion, the city responded thinking that they couldn't breach the gates, and when they did, they threw everything they had at it, and we were an afterthought of an insurance policy at the temple. I don't think at the time they knew they were going for the temple. I don't think they thought that was the move that the opposing force was making.
She's looking serious. She's laughing, nodding of recognition.
Gimli.
You sweet dog. It's okay.
I still think we're being set up.
Bro.
Tobias, I would just ask that you don't get us into any more trouble with that. That will furthering that line of thought out loud will get us in trouble.
What line of that?
That we're being set up.
Tobias is
Paranoia?
bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. You said he was right.
He's allowed to be paranoid.
Yeah,
He's allowed to be paranoid. I just asked that he didn't voice it in front of the
Being
city
paranoid
people
has
and
its
the
uses.
priest anymore.
Okay, so Cardinal got her thing, and then Caligar was checking the gates.
Yeah, I wanted to look at the gates and the gatehouse.
Okay. What are you looking at when you're looking at the gates? What are you looking for?
I'm trying to see. I mean, like, we already know that they don't have any obvious signs of damage, but if there's any signs of, like, magic or anything else that other than just it being battered open.
He's a dwarf. He's admiring the stonework.
That I
mean,
can see,
it's
actually, yes.
yeah. Finally, the one piece of Umgate craftsmanship that's decent around here.
Oh, you recognize the handiwork of dwarves in there, too. The gates, there's no ruins, there's no hints of magic or anything like that. And they don't appear as if they've been battered open.
hmm Yeah, that's what I suspected. So that's why I'd like to go to the gatehouse.
Yeah. Give me a perception and an investigation.
Oof.
What's the D4 from?
From me being a Mark of Warding dwarf, you can get a plus 1d4 on your investigation checks and checks using thieves' tools.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Wish that was
Okay.
a little bit better, but it is what it is.
We're gonna have a chat.
Alrighty.
Another one. I don't have a whisper cam set up for Bastion.
All right, now, Cardinal, now that you're here alone, I'm going to start drawing out the little red yarn. I'm going to start putting it up on the board. I'm going to explain my theory in detail,
Go for it.
how we're being set up.
I'm listening.
Well, that's all I have so far.
Fuck.
The pins don't actually go to anything. There's nothing up on the board yet, but
It's
looks
blank.
cool. Yeah.
I might have some stuff to put on your theory board once we discuss as a group. I don't think you're wrong, though, is the thing. It's just, don't say in front of the people who might be the ones that fucked us over. Be like, haha, I know you fucked me over. That's a way to get stabbed. But yeah. That's how bitches die.
There's a saying, don't bite the hand that's feeding you.
It hasn't fed us yet.
Actually, the full saying is unless it steals from hungry mouths, but
I like it even more.
yeah.
They did short us approximately.
15 gold each.
Well, I tried. We got 25. We're better than we were before.
Really, they shorted us like 100 gold. Wait, no, 40 times 5.
I don't think we get
250.
Hunter.
Total.
Yeah, I don't think we get Bertrand's cut. I think he's just not taking a cut at all.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, morals and values won't armor and feed us. And we do need a lot of those after this fight.
Especially
I
since this,
got big goals. I could take his cut.
especially since there's so many refugees in the city now. Everything's going to be like
Yeah.
at least twice as expensive.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation's a son of a bitch. Believe me, I know better than most.
I have so many questions for you.
I'm saying that as Ezekiel, by the way, not me.
Oh.
Well, I can say it as me. Inflation sucks ass.
Private dice rolls. I need to get some emote stuff. Pop up on screen, that'd be cool. Ba-da-da, da, 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 da.
You back?
We're back.
We be back.
And Ezekiel, what were you doing?
So while everybody is hopefully doing the things that I asked, I would like to spend my time looking at the Empire citizens. Not like moving or touching them or anything. I'm definitely not looting these bodies in front of anybody because I'm a smart rogue. But what I'm looking for, anybody that seems, and I'll kind of like move throughout the whole area, kind of check in on what other people are doing. I'm looking for any Imperial citizens or soldiers who look like they weren't attacked by Chaos forces, but by the city's own forces. Like, looking for a traitor.
Okay, roll a perception. So as you're going through the bodies, you notice a pattern that some of the soldiers that are wearing the garb of the city guard fell as if they were facing the gate. Others fell as if they were facing the alleys. And you're also seeing that civilians, that there are some civilians that seem to have been cut down coming out of the alleys and are looked as if they were moving towards the guards.
Okay. As I'm making my rounds, I'm just gonna kind of try to whisper to everybody. And I'm gonna try to signal for Bertrand to come down if he can see me from wherever up high he is. But I'm gonna just lean in and whisper to each person. I think they may have been inside the city prior to the army arriving and disguised as citizens and potentially soldiers.
I agree with you, and I have some more information. Wait for everybody to gather.
Well, before we
Well,
gather, I'm gonna
Tobias
go up.
hasn't done his thing yet either.
Well, I'm gonna go up to Maximilian, but I'm gonna give him 2 big steps away from him. And I'm gonna say, who was in charge of this gate? I'm gonna ask him that.
The gate is watched by. Usually, the gate is watched by the city guard. In situations where the city's under attack, then it falls under the auspices of the city's army, and the army falls under my command.
No, I meant specifically which sergeant, lieutenant, who was in charge when this happened.
I don't have that information. I would have to go searching through our records to find out who was in charge when the attack happened.
Is there no one left alive that was here?
No, the initial garrison of the gate was slaughtered to a man.
Would we be able to tell if there are any sergeants or higher ranking guardsmen among the slaughtered?
Anyone with a command position would have a feathered plume on their helmet. Even just from my position here, I can see several that are scattered around.
Okay, I'll break off and join the group. Join the team, I mean, for whatever whispers they're going to do.
I do just want to share with you guys that I was rolling to see if anyone survived. I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
They all did.
Well, you tried.
Anybody have speak with dead?
I might actually.
Not yet. Although, fuck, I got no spell slots. Although, hold on, I might be able to do something, but we're gonna save that. Is everybody gathered? Are we gonna do a huddle? 'Cause I would signal.
I mean, like, is this after a few minutes? Like,
Yeah,
where
you
everybody's
probably
done with their thing?
the amount of effort you've put into investigating and looking around, it's probably taken you, I'd say, a good hour to an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah, because I was up there for a minute.
So a short rest, right?
No, because you're actively looking around. You're not.
I know.
And well, you were flying, so.
No rest for
Sleep
you.
glide. There was like an updraft.
I don't think owls can do that neat trick.
He's not an eagle. So I found some interesting symbols on one of those people. You said something about possibly them coming from within the city. I think it might be the alleyways. I found this symbol of Slanesh. And from what I know, it looks like he was part of a cult. Not recently, perhaps, but it looks amateur. Made this mark on his own cheek. It healed over, so had plenty of time. Maybe this cult had something to do with breaking the gate open from the inside.
Yeah, when I went to investigate the gatehouse, I found several bodies of citizens with the same Slaneshi sign. So there is a cult of pleasure inside the city that attacked from within, and after they killed the guards inside the gatehouse, they opened the doors for the rest outside.
Did the gatehouse even get the doors closed to begin with? Because if the doors aren't damaged, then they
They did.
knew.
There was no reason for the enemies outside the gate to attack, to try to force the doors open,
That
because
means
they were opened for them.
so that means they knew it was coming.
Yes, this whole thing was planned.
Can
What I
I?
can't figure out is where from the alleys. Especially
I
if
don't
there's
think trying to track down the individual cultists is what we need to do right now. That's going to be a citywide manhunt that the marshals are going to have to deal with on their own,
Yeah. Can I
because there are an unknown number more of cultists that are still out and about in the city.
Can I signal to the priest, the warrior priest of Sigmar, to come over and join us?
Yeah, he walks over.
Hopefully alone, or and just tell him, I think there may have been a rat in your city, or a few rats, so to speak.
When he comes over, I'm going to make sure he's just not within sword swinging distance of me. I know he has a hammer, but
And I'm just gonna kind of quickly and under my breath quietly whisper to him the information that we had, that everyone had kind of gathered.
Takes you a few minutes to go over everything, and he just kind of like, it's clear that he's taking everything in and filing away in his own mind, for his own
Memory
whatever.
bank.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. And he's giving you 120% focus. Like, it's almost uncomfortable how much he's paying attention to you as you're going over all the information. He says, you've done a great amount of work here today, which I appreciate. You've actually uncovered information we hadn't found yet, so looks like you are on the way to earning the amount that we're going to give you. Now, that being said, your task is not done. You still need to find the ones that did this, but that can wait. After a long night of fighting, I'm sure you were all exhausted and battered and bruised, and I've discussed it with the marshals. Word is being sent out to all of the taverns and inns throughout the city that anyone that has defended the city is staying there. Their stay will be compensated by the masters of the city. If you have any issue, tell them they can bring it up with me.
May we have your name?
I wrote it down.
And I'm insight checking him the whole time. 26, just to say he's being truthful.
He starts patting his own pockets. Man, I forgot.
checks the tag on his shirt.
Yeah, it's a name tag right across here. You can't read it? My name is Werner Stoltz. I am the High Capitular of Nordland.
Werner Stoltz?
Yeah, with a W.
Perfect.
I think if I share the picture again, it should be on there as well.
Just
High
says
Priest
High
of
Priest.
Mhm. Yeah, it just says High Priest
Oh,
of
it doesn't even
Sigmar.
get a caption. That's stupid.
But I do admire his Warhammer. There it is.
Werner Stolz.
You could also just open up the journal and it would show it.
You guys shouldn't have access to the journals.
I do.
Interesting.
Well, it only shows up just one. Just
Well,
the
because I
high
just
priest.
shared the journal with you.
I would just. Okay, two things. I want to roll my own insight check just to see. Oh no, never mind. I just if he gives me his name, he probably already knows, but I would just respond in kind. I don't know what shoot. I don't know, Mr. Stolz or whatever the appropriate greeting would be for the priest of Sigmar. I was just like, I'm Ezekiel von Mildenstein, and I hope that over the course of our dealings together, you can help me clear up some of my failures in the past. And if this all goes well, maybe vouch on my behalf in future business dealings.
While you're checking, just to be sure, he was telling the truth, right? For the 26?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No funky business? Got it.
No funky business. So yeah, he tells you guys to rest, take your time. But the following day, he wants you to meet at the Temple of Sigmar, and you will start the hunt for this cult.
Hi, Bear.
Hi, Bear.
So again, you're not paying us.
We're
Your task
getting
isn't complete
rooms
yet.
for free. For the moment.
Yet.
We got some money. Hope you're okay for now.
Eyes look livid.
We're getting
You
room
need-
and board for free. That's kind of like payment. If you think about it.
There's a tavern south of here. Maybe we should just travel through the alleyway as we're searching the trail of bodies from the alleyway to the tavern. Two birds
Yeah, I
with one
would-
stone.
I would very much like to look into the alleyway. I'm curious, just to see, did they come out from the sewers or just the alleyways?
There's this tavern called the Singing Moon. I heard good things about it.
Oh, hello.
Let's just get some perception as you guys are walking through the city.
Come on, dice.
Madre.
That's decent. Tobias is too angry.
I'm pissed. I'm like kicking every rock I can find.
They said they're gonna give us money, they're not giving us money.
I'm gonna have to check his age. Is it even legal to drink at this rate?
So yeah, as you're walking through the city, you're finding more bodies, and now that the fighting's done, people are coming around to collect up the bodies and dispose of them however they can. Any civilians or citizens seem to be collected with some form of dignity, and any of the enemy are just being dragged off and unceremoniously tossed off the wall. But you don't notice any like open sewer grates or anything that would imply that they had come from the sewers.
Are we?
How
are-
desperately do we want to know?
How
What?
desperately do you want to which?
How desperately do we want to know where they came from? Right? Do we have any questions for them?
I mean, if we get
dead.
in a scuffle, I have no more healing, no more spells. I'm already at half health, and you would be in trouble if we get into a bigger scuffle.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
naturally, they're going to send us after the big bad evil guy.
Is
Okay,
We're just the patsies.
are we being led through the alley to the tavern, or are we breaking away from the high
Well,
priest?
Bertrand said he knew where the tavern was, so I assumed we were just following him.
Yeah, I'm just asking Azrael. Are they coming along with us, or is this a moment where we're breaking away from them?
You're breaking away.
As I'm going to just linger for a moment, and I'll catch back up to the party, and I would like to ask Werner, just if there's any kind of den of iniquities within the city, places where thieves might do business that maybe you could barter and try to get information that they know of, like maybe, a thieves guild or something they haven't made moves on, but somebody that I might be able to try to talk to.
Sorry, I was getting something up from behind me. Say it again.
I'm asking Werner if there are any known thieves guilds or people that might associate with a thieves guild where you could potentially maybe purchase information or anything of that sorts within the city. Maybe something.
Information broker.
Yeah, anything remotely related to a thieves guild, a person that I could kind of follow that line if I needed to.
He kind of laughs as he looks at you. He's like, "If there were a thieves guild in the city, do you think they would let their existence be known to me?"
Maybe you would have heard some whisperings recently and hadn't made a move on them yet. And I just giving us all the options on the table we can to track this lead down for you.
He's just curious.
It's a mile-wide city on top of a mountain that houses hundreds of thousands of citizens of the Empire. I think a safe bet would be to assume that there are some seedier elements that I don't know about.
Do you have any suspicions of anyone, any in particular, that maybe I could track that lead down for you and see if maybe they could broker some information as to anything strange they might have noticed in their comings and goings? Somebody you suspect that maybe you don't have any evidence to move on yet?
He puts a hand on your shoulder, takes a deep breath, and goes, "No."
Fair enough.
You have to understand my position here. I'm not just the leader of this temple. I am the high priest for the cult of Sigmar for all of Nordland.
I am aware of your title. I would just figured maybe in all of your dealings you might have heard a whisper, but it is okay. I will attempt to track this down myself.
You strike me as the kind of person that could probably find that information easily.
I'm gonna break away and catch back up to the group. Just kind of kick a can down the alley as I go, or a bottle.
All right, Bertrand. So, do you know where this place is?
Bertrand, give me a survival.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. I find it funny that the one is a cross.
Yeah, that's. I thought that was the 20 for the longest time. So yeah, you ask if Bertrand knows the way, and he's like, "Yeah, I know exactly where we're going." About a half hour of walking, you're starting to realize he doesn't know where he's going.
Bias is still kicking rocks. He's just pissed. He doesn't care.
This place is different when it's riddled with bodies.
Having done a lot of business here, I think I'm going to. Nope, fuck it. Yeah, he's right.
Private.
It looks so different with all the blood. I rolled a 6.
We didn't even see that roll.
I rolled a 6. Well, 5 plus 1, 6.
Well, Ezekiel is nobility, right?
Nobility, former nobility, you know, kind of depending on who,
He
how
likes the
recent your
finer
information
things.
is. Yeah.
I'd say that any time that he's previously spent in the city is up in Grafsmund, which is a little more hoity-toity.
We should go there.
Whereas Newmarket is a little more rundown.
I'd like to get us to the hoity-toity area since they're paying for our room and board, and just start heading that way. Be like, you know what the problem is? We don't want to be at any of these taverns. We want to be at the nice places. Follow me. And then proceed to wander and like go turn to the right and then be like, wait, no, I think it's back to the left, and change directions. Like pointing like Mr. Bean.
Do another survival.
Oh, I keep wanting to. 12?
Okay.
Familiar enough.
Yeah, it takes you a bit of time. You're walking through some of the alleyways, and you finally get to the point where you're like, you know what? Enough shortcuts. I just need to find a main road. You find the road, you're like, I know exactly where I'm at. And you make your way over to the Harvest Goose.
Harvest
Way up there.
Goose.
And
How hard is it to find a bar in this place?
An hour's worth. Because it was a half hour between you. and
Right.
It was a half hour with me. So an hour.
I'd say by the time you actually got your bearings, it's been closer to like an hour and a half. By the time you get to the other side of the city.
45 minutes between each other.
Sure. Yeah, so you're making your way across the city, and once you finally get to the outside of the tavern, you see a sign that's got, intricately carved and painted, kind of like a relief of a goose in, I don't know, a wheat field. The main difference you notice from where you're at now as opposed to the areas you've been in the past is there's very little dirt, there's very little garbage, there's no one that appears to be homeless. And it seems like none of the fighting made its way over here.
I don't
As
like
we-
this place.
As we walk in, I clean up the dust and dirt off of myself.
Well, I'm going to the inn. I don't know. Doesn't give a shit.
I flick my finger towards Ezekiel.
I'm just gonna look down at myself and at the several rents in my armor from getting smacked around with a couple great axes,
Can I do...
and find a space to
I'm
sit
just
down as I
pulling
start
bodies
mending
out.
it.
Doesn't make anything.
Can I do a whisper with the DM, please?
You could.
Hey, look, it's the Marshall Plaza where the Marshalls fucked us.
Buddy, I'm getting a little bit of a resentment here. Do you want to talk about it, maybe?
Hey, I'm just saying I'm gonna sleep with a knife under my pillow.
Oh, you don't do that normally?
No.
How old are you?
Tobias looks like mid-20s. Kind of young, but not like 17 and having his first drink or anything like that.
A child.
I'm not going to order any drinks from the inn. I pull out my special tankard that I have in my backpack, and I drink from that.
Interesting.
And I make no signs of pouring anything into the tankard first. I pull it out and drink, and it doesn't seem to run out.
Cardinal does for a holy woman. Bring the vodka equivalent. Very long whisper. What do people do here for fun?
Apparently, backstabbing is a very giant hobby here.
Oh, the amount of salt, bro. The amount of salt. My God. You gotta learn to let it go.
I don't think I do. Let me double check. I speak Elvish, not Sylvan. I don't know if there's... Okay.
Yep.
Well, I tried to pick base off of Warhammer World.
I literally chose a land that's like, there's no history there. Nobody wrote anything. I guess I'll make it up as I go.
Nice. No, but it's fun. I can speak 3 languages: Common, Dwarvish, and Giant. I really don't think I would ever use that 3rd one.
You never know. You never know.
The Giants of Warhammer Fantasy aren't the ones you really talk to,
Why?
because typically they just want to eat you as food.
Rude.
Yeah, no, he's not following exactly. He's doing his own spin on it, which I am all for. I am very happy with. No,
Well, knowing
Well,
nothing about it.
I don't really care because I'm a dwarf.
I'm a foreigner. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The duck has returned.
Quacking.
Okay, and sorry, Calgar, you were doing something with mending in your armor and sitting down.
Yeah, I was just saying that as we walk in and people are cleaning themselves off, I don't care about the blood and the rest, but I'm fixing my armor. And as I sit down, I pull out my tankard from my backpack and I start taking a few swigs.
This tavern looks familiar.
Oh, it doesn't. We've never seen this before.
And I just drink from my tankard. I don't drink the weak manling brews that they have here.
Okay. So yeah, as you walk in, the interior reflects the exterior. It's very clean. The show, like everything, the bar top is polished and waxed and like glistening in the morning sun. Books of shelves seem like they're dusted regularly. And even if you like go over and take a look, the quality of the books themselves are of the highest quality, leather bindings and all that, and the gold inlay for lettering and really fancy books that no one actually wants to read.
I'll go to the
All right,
books.
I'll go up to the bar.
I'll go up to the books.
Yeah.
I'll go up to the bar and says, Werner Stoltz wants us to have 5 rooms. And I'll take 2 of your finest wine.
Oh, my dear friend, all we have are the finest wines. Did you want a white or a red?
White.
Give me but a moment. Woo!
Your characters drink heavily in every single campaign.
Not mine.
Frank's. No, I'm talking
No,
about
I didn't.
Frank's.
No, I didn't drink so much last. Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Comes back out with 2 crystal goblets of white wine, hands in the bar, and before you even like think of reaching for your pouch, says, "Oh no, sir, no, no cost for you."
Oh, I didn't even think of reaching for the pouch. I said Werner Stoltz is covering it, and I didn't even like hint towards I have a pocketbook, you know? So I take one drink, I hand it over to the cardinal, and I just keep the other one for myself, and I start doing the wine swilling around in the goblet, taking tiny little sniffs and sips of it. That's all.
Fox has her finger up.
I'm gonna taste this strange foreign liquid.
Well, that's all. I'm not chugging or anything. I'm just very delicately sipping it.
I take one sip. I don't like it. I'm gonna give it back to it.
The can't even call him a bartender. The tavern keeper looks almost offended that you handed it back.
I mean, I passed it off to Tobias to finish it off.
I'll let it sit
I'm
in
gonna
front
say,
of me, but I'm not
do
gonna
you have anything
get into
from
it anytime soon.
like any proper alcohol?
That would depend on what you define as proper alcohol. But
You got
yes,
anything from it?
I do
Say again?
say,
Anything from
tavern keeper, may I have a glass of red wine?
give me 1 sec.
Just let him Google.
Sorry,
No,
what were
I'm looking
you
something else
asking
up.
for? Fox? I didn't quite catch what you were actually asking for, Fox.
Pardon, I asked for some alcohol from Ind. IND.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that last part. I was like, alcohol from blank.
My voice kept cutting out or something? Damn.
The
Yeah, I just couldn't quite make you out.
Listen, Bertrand, I'm gonna deep fry you if you talk over me one more time.
Okay, so you're asking for something from Ind. He pauses for a minute. Says, wait. scurries into the back again. And now you can like hear the clattering of bottles as he's moving stuff around. Why do you care?
It's next to me.
Guess what? That was a whoop scanning affair, wasn't it?
Comes back out with a bottle that's just a thick dark glass, and unlike everything else in the tavern, this one actually has a layer of dust on it. Goes, this is from my personal collection from make up some inn's name because I don't know any of those cities.
Nobody
I mean,
does.
I gave you a map, a very detailed map.
Yeah, but that would require me looking at it, and are the detailed any map I could. Anyways, doesn't matter. Would this be to your taste?
Now we're talking. Give it over.
He pops the cork on. It's like, would you like a glass, or are you just gonna take the bottle?
I'll share. I'll take a glass.
I appreciate that. This is
Maybe
one of my
two.
favorites. Pulls out again 2 very ornate goblets. Pours 2 glasses for you.
I'll give
Then
one
he
to
looks-
him.
Oh, I'd never drink on the job,
It's terrible.
but I
More for me.
appreciate the offer.
To surviving.
And he puts the cork back in, puts it underneath the counter. It's like, this is just for my special guests. And then turns to Bertrand and said, you were looking for... I think you said red?
Would you happen to have any bottles from Cornell's?
I don't have any from Canal, but I do have...
I actually said Cornell, not
Cornell?
yeah.
Where the hell's Cornell?
It's in Bretonia.
Mm-hmm.
Make me look at maps.
Where did you put that map?
It's in general chat under this campaign.
Yeah,
Got
general, and
thinking.
he did pin it. So you can just look at the pin messages.
Holy crap on a cracker.
I told you.
Yo, that's
That is the most detailed map that I have.
wow.
Oh, but it's just the old world. Yeah, you tell me you have a detailed map, but there's no end here, so it doesn't help. Alright, so Cornell, can you be a little more specific where that is?
I must have mispronounced it. It's Courronne.
Yeah, Corone,
Courronne.
Rome?
Northern Bretonia.
Yeah.
Courronne is the capital of Bretonia.
You wouldn't be asking for something from Corone, you'd be looking for something for Bordeloo. They're the winemakers.
Right. I'm also pretty tired
Uh-huh.
in real
Yeah.
life. so-
Excuses. Excuses.
I see how it is, mister. I know so much about Warhammer.
Gives everyone a map, doesn't actually read it.
But also that.
But yes,
place is
he
not
does-
just the only place that makes wine.
No, but they make the best wine.
Sure.
Nobody said Bertrand had good taste.
I would like a bottle of Cornell's something from home.
They do make wine there.
They do. They're very French. He looks a little disappointed that you're asking for something from Canal and not from Bordelou. So he.
I'm sorry, sir, but Canal is my homeland.
Well, to each their own. You know, my homeland is Kislev, but I don't do vodka.
Interesting.
He goes back, and again comes out with a bottle. It's very unicorny.
I will take
And-
a glass, please.
Yeah, pours you a glass, and again, still a very fine goblet, even though he's less than impressed with the contents of it.
Meh.
I impressed him, and you did it.
Thank you. Gets
Are there any?
It looks like there's a few.
Do you happen to serve any food as well?
I do, but my cook has not arrived yet for the day. I expect them to arrive more for the lunch hour.
Yeah, it's still very early, right?
It's about 10 o'clock right now.
Gotcha.
But feel free to enjoy the tavern. There are 5 individual rooms upstairs, one for each of you, so you can have your privacy. The room on the end is my personal quarters. That is locked. Please do not go in there.
I will take the room.
Booty,
that's
I see
next
that
to
look on
his.
your face.
I will take the room that's next to his.
All right, well, we can figure that out later. Once everyone's served, I'll kind of wave to everyone to gather around.
This is not another we've been set up sort scenario.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm leaving. I'm going to.
No, wait, come. And gathering everyone, I'll say. So I think they're gonna try and screw us again. I think we should just leave the city. I mean, can't you see the backstabbing? I mean, they sent us to either get slaughtered or to fail on something that was very important. And then they said, we'll pay you if you do this thing. And we did it, and they then didn't pay us for that. And now here we are, and we got more to do. I think we should just leave.
Are you racist to humans?
I'm kind of half human.
Insight check.
Inside check if I'm half human?
No, that you're secretly a racist.
Oh.
You can do persuasion or deception. It's up to you. Just roll it privately.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to say this.
Deception. God. He hates all humans, including himself.
And I'll PM you something real quick, Richter, and then you can say however you want it to go. Where is it?
In the chat, in Foundry, you can just type in /W space GM and it should send it to me. Just send a test message first.
Yes, you want to test to make sure that
Yes.
it works. And
Yes,
not
that
type
works.
it out and then it shows. I'm like, haha!
Gotcha.
So you can describe how that plays out. I don't understand.
the way Tobias has kind of presented himself, I wouldn't say he comes across as racist, but you do detect a hint of prejudice.
Okay.
Anyway, the yeah, I still feel like we're getting set up, and best thing we can do, especially since they haven't paid us for the things they said they were going to pay us for, is just leave. I mean, bad things are going to happen here, and I feel like we're still going to be the patsies in this.
My friend, I understand where you're coming from, but I believe it is more that they have no idea what they're dealing with, instead of them intentionally trying to put the blame on us. If that makes sense. They think they were caught off guard, and we just happened to be at the important location. Although it is good to be careful. But I don't think the second hiring, was maliciously intended. I think they're just short of manpower and they need a neutral party to investigate. And we happen to fit the role.
Well, I'm not going to go off by myself through a war-torn country. That would just be a bad idea. But I'm just saying we should be prepared for them to cross us again.
We will keep that in mind. Make sure to pay us fairly, especially for this one. But thank you for watching out for us.
And I swill my wine a little bit more and take another sip.
I'm gonna nudge what's his name? Caligar, and say,
Caligar.
have you ever tried some of the alcohol from my very, very lovely nation of Ind? I understand human swill is not to your taste.
I'm sorry, this is funny because I was about to ask if I could try it.
I have an extra glass. Try some.
You said the first door upstairs was his?
He
Last
said
one.
the last room was his.
Just keep in mind, Calgar, that
Oh
you
yeah.
said you
No.
don't like human,
Oh,
weak human drinks.
What dwarf likes? You know, weak manling drinks. But no, as seeing as Cardinal recently like saved my life since I got like great axed twice. Yeah, I'm willing to do this.
I don't think you have to drink the whole thing. Like, do you want to like taste
No.
it?
I'll no. Pour me a glass.
Oh, yeah.
And so as she pours me a glass, I'll reach over and take it, and I'll give it a quick smell, and then I'm just gonna, like any good dwarf should, I'm just gonna start gulping it down. So is there any idea of like what kind of alcohol this is, or like is it just
I don't know.
it's something?
But say the DM. What do you want to do with this though?
It's like one of the highest quality of wines you've ever tasted.
Okay.
Well, taste is a strong word since you threw it back fast enough. I'm not even sure it touched your tongue.
No, it's I'm drinking it fast enough that I'm downing it, but like I'm also getting the taste of it, because you don't. If you're drinking a good ale, you want to actually drink the ale too. You're not just like slamming it back, especially with my special tankard.
It's not a shot.
Yes. I am just enjoying it quickly.
I have a question for
But
you.
okay.
I meant Ezekiel.
Ah,
It seems you are quite wary in the city. Any particular reason why that we should be wary of, other than your magicness?
Why I'm quite weary?
Yes, you seem to go around telling every person of authority that you have committed some terrible, terrible deeds and that you wish to make up for them. Just seems like a lot of guilt for one person to carry. I'm wondering why.
I'm going to take a long sip of the nice high quality tea I would have ordered from the tavern keeper. And I'll just say, once upon a time, my family was a very influential noble family within the empire. When my parents passed away, I inherited I would call it a moderate to largely successful mercantile empire, and through my own drunken, poor decision making, squandered it all away. The city guard in Alftand seized all of my assets and evicted me from my house for unpaid taxes, and among other things, and that disgrace is still carried upon my name, so I'm not always looked upon the most favorably by some people within the empire, based on my reputation that I am still to this day trying to rebuild, which is a long and very difficult road.
Are you secretly Robin Hood?
No, I am not secretly Robin Hood.
I had to say it because it sounded like one of the brand new Robin Hood movie with the actor from Kingsman.
Nope, not secretly Robin Hood. I
Yep.
would, after this conversation, like to make a perception check and see if I recognize anybody that might be speaking a thieves' cant inside the bar.
No, they're all talking in common.
Okay. That's my story. As far as you all need to know.
Okay.
I'm glad.
How does thieves can't sound like? Is it like
So
Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff?
no, so thieves can't, the way I understand it to work is it is not just a verbal language, but it's like turns of phrase, body language, posture, things like that all are hidden meanings, and it changes frequently, and it wouldn't, like, even if you had the ability to break code, it doesn't necessarily mean that you would be able to understand thieves can't. You might on a given day, but it could be different the next day, and it changes frequently based off of
Yeah,
the
if
area
I'm
that
not
you're
mistaken,
in.
another thing with thieves' cant is something that would take you like 30 seconds to say in common is going to take you like 2 minutes to say, because you have to. You're essentially beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Eagle has left landing. I mean, my pet bird died. That kind of
So
stuff.
it can literally be like 2 tea bags and a cup of tea can mean a bank robbery, while 1 tea bag means like committing fraud. Things like that, and so it's not like any particular language, and it's a lot of turns of phrase and different things. The hen is in the house, Mother is doing well, as he dips his tea bag 4 times to signal that you're being listened to.
I'll have the cheese sandwich. That roots harder.
It could, yeah.
I'm gonna slowly finish my first wine, and then I'm gonna grab my second wine, and I'm gonna go up to the bookcase. Where are the bookcases down at the bottom, or? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna look for any books on the Chaos Lords or anything like that.
Okay, roll a perception.
I
Yeah,
doubt
as
a
you-
fine establishment would have a book of the Chaos Lords here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a bit
you're looking
stretch.
through the books and you're seeing like tales of Sigmar's heroics and um, the founding of the various city-states and history of the great families and all that. It's nothing that, unless you're specifically trying to find that information, that you'd actually go looking for.
I'll pick up histories of the families, and I'll take it upstairs to one of the rooms with my drink.
Was that volume 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I'll take the newest one.
Okay, volume 4. The histories of the great families of Nordland.
And I'm specifically looking for Werner Stoltz, Maximilian, or whoever the other marshal was.
Okay.
And other than that, I don't really care too much about who else is in it.
Okay. The book covers probably the last 150 years of Nordland's history, which is effectively the province that you're in. And you're flipping through, and
Has no pictures.
no, it has no pictures. It's very finely written, and the words are compact, and you kind of have to squint almost to make out what you're reading.
New Times Roman.
But as you're going through, you do see that the family stretches, at the very least, to the beginning of that. Call it 150 years is what the book covers, and you find Stoles, and you find the 3 marshals in there as well. The families are established.
Does he find
No,
anything on my family?
I didn't even look for his, but there's no mention or hint of dirty politics, of backstabbing, or anything like that.
I'm gonna print it in a book. I don't think.
Roll an insight.
He says, "Where's my political intrigue?"
You do find that there was a land dispute between the von Genscher family and the Schwermuth family about 125 years ago. But it was resolved when the Schwermuths paid the von Geschers 2,000 gold.
So just
Love
family
it.
squabbles in the book. Nothing that leads to dirty religions,
No,
bad family members, or anything like that.
no. Oh, but I do have something for you here. Let me just pull it out of my ass for you.
What? I wasn't looking for like details. Like the third cousin really went off the rails. I was like, yes, there's something weird there. No, there's not anything too weird.
There's the one page that was ripped out.
Was there?
No, there's no pages
Oh.
ripped out. You're not supposed to grab the boring books from the boring shelf.
I'll show you.
Well,
Yeah,
my
right.
And I grab a room in the middle.
I'd like to, as I finish Cardinal's drink she handed me, I'm gonna set it down and look at the empty cup for a second, and be like, that was decent for a meddling drink. Here. And I tip my tankard and I give her about half a cup and slide that over to her. Try this. But
Hell yeah, I'm gonna try it. We'll see.
And so as you like pick it up and look at it, you see a just very, very, very dark ale. And when you smell it, it's just very strong, but it's also like full of flavor just from the smell alone.
Interesting.
Were you taking a drink of it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. As you bring the cup up to your eyes, like the fumes are burning your eyes. Once you take that first sip, roll a Constitution.
Oh no.
Let's make that a save.
It's the Warforged jet fuel.
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You take a solid pull from this, and your mouth is like instantly on fire, and it burns the whole way down, and as it hits your stomach, your eyes cross, and you rock back on your heels because the entire room just did a fucking spin on you. But you stay on your feet.
Oh, I like this.
And it leaves you refreshed. It doesn't just like burn, and it's not like just like drinking alcohol or like vodka or something like moonshine. No, it leaves you with a feeling of being refreshed afterward. It just happens to be very, 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 very strong. Violet does so.
As I see her drinking with Caligar, I'm just going to
Yeah,
walk
I
past
reach out a
and
hand to steady her.
yeah, I'm gonna walk past, gently pat her on the shoulder, and tell her never try to outdrink a dwarf. And then I'm gonna say I'm going to go rest. It was quite a long day, and I'm gonna speak some Dwarvish to Caligar as I head upstairs.
The tavern keeper comes out and he looks at you and goes, "Did you just drink Bugman's?"
What's that?
Someone who knows it. A good connoisseur.
What
I
is
pour
that?
him half a glass. Just because he
No,
could recognize it from the smell.
no, thank you, sir. Last time I had Bugman's, I was out for 4 days.
That's okay. Keep it until your shift is over.
4 days.
Oh, it's only half a glass, manling.
That's what I had.
Drink it slower.
This one is fun. Jesus.
I must respectfully decline, Master Dwarf, but by all means, enjoy the brew of your brethren.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a steadying hand on. I can't reach up to your shoulder, I'm assuming, so I'm just gonna say like your back.
Just lean on you.
I'm just like giving you a steadying, like a hand on your back. That's what I can do.
Are the stairs supposed to move? Magic.
Oh shoot, I sent that to you, huh? That was... Oops. Public World Dwarvish.
Yeah, no, it's good. I read it.
I thought
So
I sent it private on accident. That's why.
Tobias will balance an arrow on the doorknob, and when the book doesn't yield anything, just try and get a long rest.
I'll get up there eventually.
Yes, this was like a special. You saved me, so I will give you the good stuff. And so as I'm standing there holding you up, I'm just gonna keep, taking some good drinks from my tankard.
Need to get me one of those.
This was special. I still have more to learn about how I made it in the first place. But I can see what I can do. It will give me a new project to work on for now.
I'll take the room right at the top of the stairs. The very first room.
Okay.
Accidentally open his door. Oh, wrong room. Somebody's in here.
I'm going to help guide her up the steps to bring her to whichever room she ends up actually wanting to stay in. But I'm going to help her get there.
I'm just gonna leave my door open just to make sure everybody makes it upstairs okay. Before I actually go to bed.
You see me come up the stairs and like Cardinal's just like laying on my back as I'm walking forward.
Do you need to help my dwarven friend?
I got her.
I'm sure you do. She's in good hands.
Faceplant and sleep. In that order.
With that, I'm gonna close your door. Wrong room. And I'll take this one.
Before everybody goes to... Well, once everybody's gone to bed, but before I go to bed. I've got some shenanigans to pull.
Go ahead with the shenanigans.
First, I'm being very, very sneaky.
Okay.
And I'm making my way downtown. Can't sing anymore, or we'll get copyright. Do 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 do. What do I roll for a thieves' tool check? Oh wait.
Spider pig. Spider
First,
pig.
I'd like to investigate the door and make sure it's not trapped in any way.
Alright, roll to investigate.
Investigation. I should have had somebody help me.
As far as you know, the door's good.
Perfect. I'd like to pick the lock. What do I click for that?
You should be able to just click the thieves' tools.
Okay, where they at? Where they at? These tools. Normal. 17.
Okay, the lock clicks open.
I'd like to very carefully step back about 25, 30 feet. What's the range on this?
30
Hey.
feet.
Mage hand's 30 feet.
A not invisible mage hand appears. And it's gonna open the door slightly and see if I'm just gonna see if anything happens as I open the door.
Nothing happens.
Perfect. I'd like to go in this room and search it very carefully, not to move anything really out of place, but just really giving it a thorough search for anything that would be considered contraband inside the Empire. Anything chaos related or other like thievery related.
Are
So
you
you're
like
looking for
secretly
anything-
FBI or something? Jesus.
You're looking for anything chaos or thievery related?
Chaos, contraband like drugs or, like things you shouldn't have inside the city.
There's not a whole lot in the room. It's apparent the tavern keeper, like the innkeeper, lives almost like a Spartan type life. There's a few personal items on a shelf above the bed. A couple books piled in the corner.
What are the
Bedside
titles on the
table.
books?
The title of the top book just has in big words, big letters, sorry, GFY, and on the bottom it says the story of Go Fuck Yourself.
Alright, I'm going to make my way out of the room and attempt to lock the door back up behind me. I don't know if it's simple or not to relock a door you've picked.
Well, try with thieves' tools.
Alright.
The next edition is MYOB, mind your own business.
Oh, fuck. Oh, 10?
you're fairly certain the door's locked.
Perfect. And then I'd like to go down to my room, close it, and do I want to be stupid or do I should? No, we're gonna take a long rest.
Yeah. Before I actually fall asleep, I'm going to cast alarm and arcane lock on my door.
You're
Just to
also
make sure.
trusting. Yeah, Booty. Nothing really
Okay.
came of that. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect.
Okay, so yeah, your long rest takes you to about 6:30 at night. At which point, like throughout the time you're resting, the chefs come by and they brought up food for both lunch and dinner, and this is probably like the fanciest food you've had. And no, I'm not going to describe it because I don't have that kind of brain power right now. Is there anything else you guys want to go over specifically to deal with for tonight, or do you want to just jump ahead to the next morning?
It's too late in the day for a beauty parlor to be open, a salon, right?
The city is recovering.
Yeah. And?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a fair question.
Yeah.
I'll ask the
It's-
bartender.
yeah, it's not like the
The-
entire city got wrecked.
It's supposed to be.
To answer your question, no. Anyone that is not part of the military is currently in the process of helping recover from the attack.
Got it.
I would expect such luxuries like that to not be available, to not have their services available for at least a few days.
Just really broadly, just to save time, I'd like to do a stealth check for the night for me to go out on the town and try and investigation check whatever else I need. All I'm trying to do, stealth away from the party and look for any Thieves Guild people that I may know. Any
Ladies
rogue
and
element.
gentlemen, this is how Booty kills his second character by sneaking off on his own.
Any
Rule
rogue
number
element.
1: never split the party.
Unless you're a beauty.
And I would try to bribe any information off them that they might have about people with similar scars or any whisperings of somebody that might worship chaos. Like if anybody had any information for sale on any such thing like that, maybe they'd done a job and noticed something. But just trying to grease the palms, and so I'll make whatever checks you need for that, but I just want to move it quickly to not hog time.
Yeah, so first let's do the stealth check.
Oops. That's still private. My bad.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That works.
There's that creaky floorboard in the stairs and the second step down.
I jumped out the window. Lowered myself
Athletics
out with
check.
some bed sheets.
Athletics check.
Oh, for him, I give that acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
He's going out the window. You know, tuck and roll at the end. Yeah, you get out the window fine, and then once you let go of the windowsill, you realize it's a little bit further than you thought it was going to be.
I saw that 4.
But for the most part, you come down actually in a bush, and it kind of breaks your fall a bit. But you get up, there's no
Bugabia
damage.
bush. Is it a
brush
bougainvillea?
brush the leaves off me and head out on the town looking for information.
Bougainvillea would have thorns in it.
Roll
Not-
investigation.
Not the thorns. I've had enough thorns of characters. Yeah.
Can you stop rolling so average?
I mean, it's par for the course with this character.
And roll a perception.
So I would know some people to talk to. I just wouldn't know if they'd have what I'd look
Jesus
for.
Christ,
Shit,
man.
Fuck.
Roll a history.
One. We're going for a 1 or 2.
Booty, you can click over to the map of Middenheim, right?
Where?
Yeah, at the top of the screen, left side, you should have the different scenes you can click on.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so right now you're up in this area,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
You are familiar with some of the seedier elements, but the contacts you know are way the hell down there.
How long would it take me to get there?
Just there,
Didn't you say the city was a mile long?
yeah. How are you just walking through the streets? You trying to be sneaky about it?
Do I feel like I'm being followed? I rolled perception, which is very poorly, so I'm
Roll-
assuming no.
Technically, you're always being followed by your shadow.
Roll an insight.
Insight still not good. There we go.
You had a moment where you thought you saw a shadow disconnect from a door, but then when you actually look back, it was just a shadow in the door.
Perfect.
So you're fairly certain that you're not being followed.
Yeah, I'm making my way downtown.
All right.
Walking normal pace, looking like I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, just taking like a casual stroll.
Just casual stroll, hands in the pockets, whistling, but head kind of slowly scanning. Just keeping an eye out as I'm making my way.
All right.
Guards, he's whistling. He's out of place.
I'm whistling the Empire
I'd say-
theme song or what
If you're-
national anthem.
If you're taking your time, try not to be suspicious or anything, and just a casual stroll, takes you probably close to an hour to get there.
Okay.
And now that you're down there, let's do another investigation. And for the love of God, roll better.
Big money, no whammies. Nope.
So you go looking for your contacts, and you have a very vivid memory of where they lived. You get to their house, and all you find out is a burned out shell of a building. And this is not like this building burned down because of the attack. Like this fire happened months ago.
Right. Well. Stop the nearest person walking by and just try to ask them, do you know what happened to the folks that lived in this house?
Well, they had a fire.
Yeah, do you know where they, did they pass? Did they move somewhere else? I said not wanting to take up a ton of time. But
They moved somewhere else, obviously, because their house burned down.
oh,
Oh,
thank you.
shit, Sherlock.
Thank you. That is quite kind of you. I appreciate the great insight into this matter. And
I'm sorry I couldn't be any more help. I'm from Eastgate. I'm just down here seeing my mistress.
fair enough. I have those all over the city myself. Which brokerage
Yeah,
do you
just-
go through? I'm assuming he's talking about prostitution, even though he may not be.
None. It's my cousin's wife.
Oh, well. Keep
Gotta
it
keep
close
it in
to
the
the
family.
chest. I'm gonna give him the old fist bump peace sign and walk away. Go back to the tavern and assume that I don't, struck out. Oh well. On to the next morning.
You tried. You get cold stone.
I tried. I did everything I could. It wasn't in the dice.
So you're heading back?
Yep. And I'm just gonna. Well, if I walk past through the merchant district and I see anybody familiar, just along the way, flip them a coin. Like not thief related, but just say if anybody's looking for me, I'm in town, and flip them a silver piece. And tell them I'm at the Harvest Goose.
Give me a perception.
Come on, please. For the love of God, please.
Nine.
You pass by about 3 merchants that you seem kind of familiar with, and as you toss them the coin, they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure."
Make sure to tell them my name as I do it. Ezekiel von Mildenstein.
Give them the finger guns.
No, Ezekiel doesn't do the finger guns. He does the
Oh,
fist bump
disappointed.
peace sign.
He's even worse.
I never said I was good at business. In
Okay,
fact,
so yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Emotional damage.
Yep.
so you get back to the inn, and I assume you head back to your room.
Yep. I'm gonna go to bed.
Do you try and get back in through the window, or you just walk in through the front door?
Just walk in through the front door and go upstairs completely defeated.
Okay, and as you're coming in, like the innkeeper's just behind the bar. He's looking at you kind of confused because he sees you walking in, but he didn't see you walk out.
I'm just gonna
But
wave.
he's not going to say anything.
I'm just gonna wave and say, "Hey, you weren't here when I left. I think you were in the back room, but thank you for your hospitality."
No, I've been out here the entire time.
I don't think so.
Deception.
I'd remember.
Yeah, deception.
Gaslight, gatekeep,
Bringing
girl boss.
attention to the problem is not how you solve the problem.
Just make sure that when you exit the building next time, to please not land in my bushes.
Emotional damage.
I'm gonna flip him a gold piece and say I appreciate your discretion. Fucking grease and palms. That's not doing me any good.
This is the best establishment in the city, so of course we're going to be discreet.
And that's why you will continue to have my business for the rest of my days. I appreciate you. What was your name again, Mr. Tavern Keeper?
Steve.
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 Urkel?
Steve.
There you go.
No, Steve von Anderholben.
Ah, von Anderhoben. Is he related to Archibald? Do I recognize anything? No, never mind. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Archibald is. We don't speak about him.
Good. That rat bastard deserves to die. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Why do I feel like I should just write that name down?
I think you should.
I think you should. That was good.
In-game notes.
I wish I didn't. I wish I had sending on this character.
Oh no.
Yeah, I go upstairs, go to bed.
The only thing I'd like to do is like after the long rest, I'd like to try to find a forge so I can go make a tankard real quick.
Well, there is the dwarf quarter, which is in the same area that Ezekiel went to.
Oh, son of a
I,
bitch.
I just need any forge, whichever one happens to be close. But if the dwarf quarter is where I need to go, then I'll go over there.
Would you really trust a human forge over a dwarven one?
True. If a dwarven was if there was a dwarven one available, I'll head to the dwarven forge.
Okay. So yeah, I'd say you probably, just to make my life so much easier,
Yeah, no, we don't need to
you
make
head
it
out about a half hour
complicated.
after he disappeared out the window, so your paths don't cross.
Sure.
You got stunned to your legs, so it takes you probably about the same amount of time, but you're walking at a faster pace.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it takes you about an hour to get there, hour to get back. And you find the dwarven forge down in the wind.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to make a nice solid tankard, but with a little bit of flair to it, just from personal touch. But otherwise, it looks like a very just. It's a dwarven tankard, so it's kind of chunkier. It's a little bit more, solidly built.
Mhm.
And it has a few like carvings of like Grungni and Grimnir, and then one of Alaya on each of on like the front and the sides. Just a personal touch. And yeah, that's it. After I make a tankard, I'm gonna go back to the inn.
Okay. In your features, click on tools of the tradesmith tools. I think that might do a roll.
Tools and trades. Where's
Like if you click on your dude, or you get the drop down menu on top, right? Go under features.
Mhm.
And then it's the bottom row, right in the middle.
got it? Tools of the trade.
That doesn't help. Okay. Is it inventory? No. How the hell do we do this?
I mean, I would be smithing this because I would think because I'm making it out of metal. That's why I was looking for a forge.
Oh, here we go.
Maybe you have to click Smith's tools.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I
roll
don't.
it for you.
Yeah, no. If you have a
Yeah, it's fairly standard work for you. You've done this many times before. You make it no problem.
Yep, that's it. I make the tankard and I head back.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do before the end of the night?
Nope.
Okay.
All those rolls are gonna come back, and I'm gonna get some good rolls in combat again.
Right.
Yeah. You're just balancing it out. Balancing it out.
Denial is good. Denial is good.
Statistics all even out eventually.
Just because I don't actually have stuff created for them in Foundry. Ignore the dice.
I wonder what's happening as we peacefully sleep.
Definitely nothing bad from any actions I've taken recently.
Oh no, almost definitely not. If anything, I'll blame Bertrand.
I'll blame whoever's convenient at the time.
Okay, so you guys wake up in the morning, and you all pretty much get up around 6 because you're well rested now. You're ready to go, and you all make your way downstairs.
Making my way.
Just gonna stay up on the landing, seeing them there.
Oh.
What fresh
Everyone
hell.
come down. Okay, so you come down the stairs, and the first thing you see, obviously, are the marshals and Werner standing there, and it's clear that they've been waiting for you. You notice that Steve is not behind the bar, and if you look out the window, there is a line of soldiers blocking the entrance to the tavern. And Werner steps forward and says, "We're gonna have a chat. I want you all to sit down."
I'm good up here.
Ezekiel, what you do? I mean,
Ezekiel, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I think they're here to discuss the business in private. They're probably
Tobias,
making...
was it?
Yes,
I wasn't asking.
I'm going to take
good
a
for
seat
you.
in the closest chair.
I'm not gonna knock an arrow, and my bow is still on my back, but I'm just standing up at the top.
Is there a reason you're so hostile towards us, is my question.
Don't worry, he's
An
He's
elf?
not trusting. Okay, don't have to bring rage into this. He's just not a trusting person.
I was gonna say something, but after I was gonna look like Tobias was just about to speak, but after Cardinal said something, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
This is the year 1001. Racism is dead in the Empire.
Yeah, excuse you.
Ignore the date on the calendar. It's like 2320 or something like that. Okay, so we need to have a chat about everything that's happened so far.
Seems
But
pretty strict for a friendly chat.
we want to make sure that we're not interrupted.
And not eavesdropped on.
That too. But that is a conversation for next time. Because this is going to take longer than 5 minutes.
If I'd have had just one good roll, that little portion would have went so much quicker.
Yeah, but like I don't get it.
I don't know, man. I'm cursed.
You're cursed. Well, like at least party-wise, it balances out. That you're cursed on the low end, and Hunter's cursed on the high end.
I don't really think being cursed on the high end is a thing. It's more like being blessed on
From
the high
from
end.
Blessed.
the DM's perspective, it is a curse.
I'm cursed because it's when I need to find the information that I can't get it, and Hunter's cursed because when he wants a fight to last a while, Hunter rolls a crit.
I think the rest of us are just pretty average on it.
None of us are freaky. We just roll dice like normal people.
Okay, but yeah, so we'll call it there.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed it.
Sure, nothing bad's gonna happen next.
Well, thank you
We'll see
everybody
how that
for
goes.
tuning in. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Running up the stairs,
Obviously-
and diving for a window.
Obviously, nothing bad could have happened from anything I've done, and this is going to be a perfectly reasonable chat.
I have done nothing wrong ever.
Me either. He says, rolling
Just sits down, looks at the war priest. I know nothing.
All right, and we love you all, and we'll see you then.
All right, yeah. Have a good night.
Bye.